Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out London's ancient Roman city hidden in plain sight. Walking tour. Architectural Digest.
London is actually two cities, one built on top of the other. Before there was London, there was Londinium, an outpost of the Roman Empire that was founded right here in the heart of modern London. And it's from this ancient city, Londinium, that modern London takes its name and so much more.
Wow.
And there's still evidence of London's 2,000-year-old Roman origins all over the city, if you know where to look. I'm Nick Potts, I'm an architect, and today we're taking a walking tour of London's Roman origins.
Interesting. London started as a Roman city? I feel like wasn't there something there before the Romans? I never really think about London as having Roman ruins. How much could there possibly be? Tell me, Nick. Y'all be sure to go to Architectural Digest and like and subscribe.
It's not just the name London that comes from ancient Rome. The layout of the city, even including the location of London Bridge, is directly connected from the original plan of Rome.
Yo, it's an American. So take this with a grain of salt. It could be very inaccurate.
Londinium. And even today, pieces of the ancient city continue to be discovered, giving us more clarity about how the rise and the fall of ancient Londinium shaped and continues to shape the modern city of London. So if all roads lead to Rome, let's start at the most important intersection of ancient Londinium.
Okay. I'm hearing some nasal blockage with Nick. I think that's his American sinuses being exposed to the British weather.
Right now, we're standing at the most important intersection of Roman Londinium, because underneath our feet is the starting point of every Roman city.
What?
The Roman Forum.
What? Where's that? The Roman Forum. Show me on the map. Show me on the map. There's a Roman Forum in London. Get out of here. Is that? No. Roman fort ruins, Roman amphitheater, Roman Forum. Right? No, it keeps taking me to Rome. Roman wall, Londinium. Is that it? I don't know. I'm having a hard time finding a place called Roman Forum in London.
As Rome expanded, every new city they built was designed as a grid, and at the center of each grid was what's called the Forum. The Forum in a Roman city was both a marketplace for commerce, but also a marketplace of ideas. It was a place for politics, legal proceedings, and civic gatherings of all kinds. And in every Roman city, the Forum was located near the intersection of two major roads, which were called the Cardo and the Decumanus.
That's smart. That's really smart. If you show up to a city you've never been to, you don't even need a map. You just follow one of those roads and you're getting to the Forum, which is probably where what you want is where it is where.
The Cardo was the primary market street, and the Decumanus was the primary military street connecting the towns throughout the empire. And this phrase, all roads lead to Rome, has something to do with that. As the empire was expanding, symbolically, they wanted there to be a street that connected these provincial outposts and peripheral towns back to the heart of the empire, which was Rome.
Oh, it's psychological.
This is the intersection of Grace Church Street and Lombard Street, where it transitions to Fenchurch. And in Londinium, this is where the Roman Forum was. In a Roman outpost, the Decumanus was primarily east-west, and the Cardo was north-south. And if you look at the map of London today, you can still see this intersection of the Cardo essentially at Grace Church Street leading down to London Bridge, which was in the same location that London Bridge currently is, more or less. And in the case of Londinium, where the settlement was located directly north of the River Thames and the important port, which is the reason why the Romans decided to put this place here, the Cardo was this crucial link between the river and all the trade that happened on it and the main marketplace. So the commerce in Roman Londinium ran north to south on the Cardo and various streets parallel to it. And as a city that's primarily a medieval settlement.
Wow. Those roads are still there. That's wild to me. Y'all are probably like, whatever. But I'm like, this is Rome, y'all. Show me the London Bridge, please. Ah, that's the Cardiff. Okay, and he said it was this road that's... Oh, yes. Fenchurch, where Lombard becomes Fenchurch. Wow, so it's right here. What if I drop a dude there? What does that intersection look like? Did he just show it to me in a... Wow. Oh, something's blurred out here, y'all, on Google Maps. That means a famous person lives there. Release the list. Wow. I mean, it's crazy to think that the Romans were doing business right here, you know? It doesn't look Roman anymore. Crazy.
Streets parallel to it. And as a city that's primarily a medieval settlement, or was, London has a fairly ad hoc, informal grid, but in this area in particular, you can see a ghost of the grid of Roman Londinium, which was torn down in 8450. It's fairly unique in the older parts of London to see this grid structure, and that's a direct ancestor of the Roman settlement that existed here before. And you can see
it's crazy that there was a grid at one point, and someone came along and said, you know what, the grid doesn't make sense. Let's make a spider web. That's going to make the city grow. Let's just put like random roads around. And it worked.
And you can see a ghost of that today in the names of the streets that currently exist between the Forum location and the River Thames. You see Pudding, which talked about meat trade. You see Fish Hill, that talked about the movement of fish up and down. And even though these uses came back in the medieval city after Londinium was abandoned, it almost came back from the dead when the site was resettled.
Yeah.
In fact,
when was it abandoned? Who would abandon Londinium? When was Londinium? Oh, maybe he just means when the Romans left. But the people still stayed there. The Romans just left. I bet that's what I mean. Londinium was largely abandoned in the early 5th century, specifically around 410 AD, with the departure of the Roman administration and military. While the city experienced a decline throughout the 4th century, the official end of Roman rule in Britain marked a significant turning point, leading to the abandonment of the walled city. The Anglo-Saxons later established a new settlement, Londonwick, or I'm probably saying that wrong. Sorry, a mile to the west of the old Roman site. Okay. It was largely abandoned. Wow, that must have been wild to be there after the Romans left. Just this big, empty city. Crumbling. I would love to see that. Can't wait for time machines to get invented.
it almost came back from the dead when the site was resettled. In fact, the Romans were the ones to first build a bridge across the Thames. And the location of that bridge currently can be seen in the street grid next to it. This original bridge would have been located parallel to where today's London Bridge is, and directly in alignment with the Cardo and connected to the Forum. But we don't need to look at the map to figure out where the Roman Forum would have been located in Londinium. Because in 2025, archaeologists drilled a massive hole into the floor of an office building and uncovered the foundations of the most important building in Roman Londinium.
What? Show me, I want to see it.
Behind me is Leadenhall Market,
Leadenhall.
one of London's most historic markets, and also the site of some of London's most newly rediscovered ruins. What was recently found underneath this building actually reconfirmed the location of Roman London's most important building, the Basilica. We're just down the street.
But what about the Forum? Where'd the Forum go? Show me on a map. It looked like it was not exactly at the intersection, right? It looked like, from what he showed us on this. Zoom in, damn it. It looks like it's right here to the east. Maybe like a block or something. Like over here. What's there now? Is that accurate? So it looks like it's over here, right? Where this Cannon Street train station is. Okay.
Behind me is Leadenhall Market, one of London's most historic markets, and also the site of some of London's most newly rediscovered ruins. What was recently found underneath this building actually reconfirmed the location of Roman London's most important building, the Basilica. We're just down the street here from the center of the Forum, on nearly the exact site of the original Roman Basilica. In a Roman city, the Basilica was always located on one end of the Forum, and was a space used for
Oh,
political,
okay.
economic, and administrative purposes, such as court proceedings. Leadenhall Market has existed in this location since roughly the 1300s, but the current structure was
Wow.
built in the late 1800s.
I was gonna
designed
say, the architecture of that building was way ahead of its time if that was 1300s, right? So the Basilica was part of the Forum. It's where all the administrative stuff happened. Okay, so show me on a map. Right? Leadenhall Market. Oh, it is right where we thought it was, yo. Sort of. Okay, that's where the Forum was, yo. Amazing. Wow, what is that? I can't even... Is that a building with gardens on the top and then it's reflecting off the side of the building? It's like tiered? What building is that? What am I looking at? Ah, yes, it is. I see now. Okay. There's a garden up there. Cool. Okay.
such as court proceedings. Leadenhall Market has existed in this location since roughly the 1300s, but the current structure was built in the late 1800s, designed by Horace Jones. And the building that he designed in the 19th century is strikingly similar to the Roman building that existed here nearly 2,000 years ago.
What? How do you know that? I mean, now that he mentions that, it could be 1300s. I'm not an architectural expert, if you couldn't tell.
The word basilica brings to mind a religious building, a Christian church, and that's no accident. A lot of early Christian churches took over the sites of Roman basilicas and their plan, which was a large central nave and side aisles. And the formerly secular kind of multi-purpose use of a Roman basilica was co-opted by a Christian typology. However, the mall or the market took on a similar sort of name. And so it's an interesting irony that the Leadenhall Market essentially co-opted the basilica plan with the large vaulted central nave and its side aisles for the markets and shops, which is an almost reappropriation of this Roman space plan. And it's an amazing coincidence that this building type, this market, that's co-opted the type form of a Roman basilica, was reconstructed in the 19th century directly over and in alignment with the original Roman basilica.
Wow.
And this
look at that. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Freaking amazing. So the Roman Forum was built like a cathedral, which influenced the cathedral design because churches took over basilicas. That's amazing. And then this market took over the design back. Take the design back.
was done without the architect likely knowing about the location.
That's
or
crazy.
frankly, the shape of the original Roman basilica. And while the basilica is the most recent rediscovery in Roman London, it's far from the only one. This site was carefully uncovered by archaeologists during the construction of a building next door. But many of the ruins of Roman London would have never been discovered had it not been for the bombings during the Blitz of World War II.
Oh. Well, I don't know if that was worth it.
We're standing in the Barbican Center, and the round tower you can see behind me was quite possibly the oldest piece of Roman construction within Londinium.
It looks
The
like
Barbican is a brutalist building complex that helped to inject modern architecture into the fabric of historic London. During the Blitz of World War II, this area was heavily bombed, and while the entire city that had been built up over the several thousand years was largely destroyed, what was revealed was a lot of Roman foundations and the basis for the original city. Before Roman Londinium, there was just a fort on this location, and the location marked by that tower, even though the tower has been built up on and modified over the years, is the location of the northernmost corner of that fort. This was far from the only place that was bombed during the Blitz, and throughout the historic core of London, there were little bits and pieces that were discovered as almost treasures that emerged despite all of the trauma of the bombing. Parts of a fresco were discovered underneath Lime Street, the foundations of a massive building under the Cannon Street station, and the Temple of Mithras, which is currently on exhibition under the new Bloomberg headquarters.
What?
And similar to what was done with the Mithraeum, where it was really showcased as part of the new building, the Barbican takes that to an extreme and creates an entire landscape built around the fragments of its Roman past.
That's smart. I appreciate that. Whoever decided to not knock that stuff down and to feature it is a kindred spirit. You can see the different bricks, how it was built up, added on over the years. That's amazing. Must have been a real mind to be clearing the debris from a bombed building and finding Roman structures underneath. Probably made them feel very small and part of a larger universe. Parts of a fresco were discovered under Lime Street.
The foundations of a massive building under the Cannon Street station, and the Temple of Mithras.
Temple of Mithras? That sounds substantial. Show me on a map. I wonder if it comes up on a map. Temple of Mithras. Oh, I think Mithras was like, he had the same story as Jesus. It's like a Roman Jesus. Wow. Oh, is that? That's a recreation. Oh, that's like artwork or recreations of artwork. Oh, they got pottery. So these artifacts were down there? Okay, that's the foundation. That's so cool that they preserved it, you know? I'm so proud of them for doing that. They didn't have to, you know? They could have sent it all to the British Museum, which would have been fine, but... Wow. Way to go, Bloomberg. Is that who did it?
Which is currently on exhibition under the new Bloomberg headquarters. And similar to what was done with the Mithraeum, where it was really showcased as part of the new building, the Barbican takes that to an extreme and creates an entire landscape built around the fragments of its Roman past. And this is really the story of London, and you can see this all along the former Roman wall, these different layers, the Roman layer of wall, the medieval constructions both on top of and incorporating the wall, and new buildings popping up usually around it rather than on top of it, showcasing it. So if you look around us in these very kind of openly modernist buildings, there are bits of the...
He mentioned 1300 earlier, right? Less time has passed since 1300 than has passed from 0 to 1300.
There are bits of the language of the Roman architecture that originally happened here. You see brick, you see arches, and they're reinterpreted in a very kind of contemporary, almost inverted way. You see these fragments of almost like a Roman concrete. So these buildings are riffing on the language of Roman architecture without explicitly copying it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed that if he didn't mention it, because it looks very brutalist. I appreciate them incorporating that into the design, but they could have gone with it a little further, you know?
And this is really what modernism of this period was trying to do. It was trying to monumentalize the past and create a new language that was fitting for modern times, as opposed to previous neoclassical revivals that were explicitly copying and mimicking the Romans. The Barbican is a very modern...
I take it back. They were doing modernism, you know? They weren't recreating.
...that were explicitly copying and mimicking the Romans. The Barbican is a very modern mixed-use complex with schools, with housing, an art center, public space, an old church, and there's a very kind of modernist urban planning sort of vision for rebuilding the city that its architects, Chamberlain, Powell, and Bond, utilized to its utmost. And this is really a unique space in London, primarily because of the Blitz. The city had an opportunity to build something really at the scale of large modernist urban planning. And the trauma of the war created, in its horrific aftermath, an opportunity for London to experiment a bit with 20th century urban planning ideals, and the Barbican represents this, in both its program, its style, and its form. This is just a small piece of London and its Roman origins. Let us know what other cities we should explore in the comments below.
Nicely done, AD. Fascinating. I didn't know there was that much Roman stuff going on in London. I mean, that survived, you know? I wish there was more. Where's the Barbican? Show me on a map. Barbican. 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 Oh. Oh, wow, it is huge. That's what you... Where's that water he was showing? Oh. Water gardens. Yeah. That's beautiful. I mean, I've got opinions about brutalist apartment buildings, but I would love to live there. I would love to wake up every day and see that. That's beautiful. I want to walk down in here. Below the water. Oh, and you have the constant sound of water running. Oh, that's beautiful. That's cool. Oh, there is a church. Oh, wow. Very modern. Oh, there's a tower. There's one of those walls. Wow. Pretty brilliantly done, I have to say. Oh, that was the church tower. Oh. That's so cool. So cool. I didn't know about that place. I wouldn't mind living there. If you've got any vacancies, rent free, let me know. Well, y'all, I'd like to say thanks to my patrons. Thanks to Thanks to my Buy Me a Coffee people. And thank y'all for watching this with me. I'll see you next time. Later.